Jesse Vaughn, stationary earth scientist here. I'd like to talk to you about something very important: the water you drink. Now, where I live, we have a pretty good aquifer, pretty good aqueducts, relatively clean water that comes straight out the tap. But that doesn't mean that there's not additives, heavy metals that are not dumped into the water at some point, somewhere between there and here coming out of my faucet. You dig? Now, heavy metals, things like fluorine, that pineal calcifying substance that's, the makeup of every antipsychotic and antidepressant medication there are made up of fluorine or lithium. It calcifies your pineal gland. And then there's this new player on the field called graphene oxide. I hear they're dumping that in the water in mass amounts. Maybe it's a scare tactic, but it's never, it's never something you should play with. Play with is your drinking water. So the only real water that you want to be drinking is distilled water. And I know that everyone's been told throughout their life or at some point that distilled water is bad, that you should not be drinking distilled water. That's exactly why they tell you that, because that is the purest water you can get. For this reason. Because water, its flash point is 212 degrees Fahrenheit. It boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Things like fluorine, other heavy metals like boron, any number of the ones, aluminium, any of the ones that are being known to be contaminants of public drinking water, well, their flash points are really, really high, like 12 to 1500 degrees Fahrenheit. Some maybe even higher. So when you take that water that's full of these heavy metals and you put it in a water receptacle and you boil it, once it reaches 212 degrees, it starts to condensate. It goes up, goes into a little tube, cools off, condensates over into another vessel, completely free of all heavy metals, because the heavy metals, their flash points are way higher than that water. So the water distills off into the other side, and you can take that water and you can know that it's completely free of any heavy metals. People say, "Oh, well, we got the reverse osmosis filters for our water." You can run your water through as many filters upside down and around the town as you want. It's not going to filter out the heavy metals, the things that are really in there that you don't want. Those things pass right through any filters. HEPA filters, Brita filters, reverse osmosis filters. The only true way to get your water free of heavy metal contaminants is to distill it. You understand? Because the heavy metals will not distill up with water. They don't. Their flash points are way much higher. Now, you get you a home distiller, or you make you a home distiller. After your first week of distilling water, you can look down inside your receptacle that you put the water into, that you boil, and you can see all this white, muddy, mucky, nasty crap all over the inside, the bottom. That's all the shit that you've been keeping out of your water by distilling it. And it really adds up. That's the shit that you put into your body if you don't do that. So it's food for thought. Your water is very important, because you got to have. That's the most important thing that you have to have is water. Without it, you shut down real quick. You can go without food for quite a while. A cockroach can live for 28 days without its head, but at that point, it ends up dying of dehydration. So look into it. Get yourself a home distiller. I buy jugs of distilled water right now. I'm in the process of trying to come up with a really cool home distiller that would be economical and viable to use for me and my family. So I'll keep you posted on that. But for now, Ozarka distilled water, distilled, not purified, not filtered, distilled water.